This is Fred Beck from Fred Talks Fighting, and today I'm very lucky to joined by Darren Barker. So thank you very much for coming on, Darren. It's good to see you, mate.
Yeah, likewise. Love what you're doing. Love that you're showing such interest in the greatest sport in the world, mate.
Well, have you watched the interviews before?
Yeah. Do you know what I have? You met Chris Lloyd recently, didn't you?
Yeah, him and AD.
Yeah, that was it. And off the back of that, Chris mentioned, and so I was aware of who you was, mate.
Oh wow, that's sick. And so how have you been then, Darren? What have you been up to then?
Yeah, good. To be honest, just sort of catching my breath. It's been such a busy schedule. Obviously, I absolutely love it, but sort of juggling all the shows, the commentary with the family. I've got 4 kids, so I'm when I'm not in boxing, the world of boxing, I'm a family man. I'm just looking at my little son now; he's just woken up. So, yeah, all good, mate. Do you know what? I'm enjoying the ride. I'm so fortunate and blessed to be doing what I'm doing. You know, I worked so hard as a boxer, and boxing is my life. So to now be involved in the capacity that I am, I'm pinching myself, mate. I love it.
So right now, if Dazn had got the rights to put on Canelo Alvarez, you'd be on a flight to Vegas.
I'd have to ask the missus first.
If
We're talking about Vegas.
you're on the first class jet right now, going to Vegas with Chris Lloyd and the whole matchroom team.
That would be great. It would be great. Yeah. I mean, we're going to Rome on Thursday. Then we're in Sheffield. Then I think a week off. Then we're in Bilbao. Then we're in Liverpool. Then we're in Manchester. It's a really busy schedule, but I couldn't think of anything more that I'd love to be doing. So yeah, counting my blessings, mate.
Yeah, it does sound quite good fun. So how do you kind of, obviously you come back off the retirement from boxing, how do you kind of fund the transition becoming a commentator then?
Do you know what? I couldn't really tell you. I have no idea how this came about. I mean, I've done a few bits and pieces for Sky back when I was fighting. Appeared on their magazine show Ringside a few times, and then I was offered a gig as being a pundit, and then I think they tried me as a commentator, and then it just sort of went from there. Commentary's been something that I've always done as a kid, and what what I mean by that is when I was a kid, right through till, I mean, even now, I don't get to watch much boxing with my dad anymore because I'm at all the shows, but we would essentially sit down in the front room, watch the fights, and we'd commentate, you know, just naturally talking about the fight, pros and cons for both fighters, what we think they should be doing, strategy, how will their mindset be at this stage in a fight. And it's just something that I've always done without knowing that it would ever lead into a sort of a professional role. It was just been something that I've always done, and I love it, mate. I absolutely love talking boxing. You know, there may be some guys out there and girls, anoraks, if you want to call them that know more about the names out there. But I think when it comes to the technical side of things and the breaking down of the boxing, that is what I love. And that's where I think I kind of excel in commentary. It's just what I love. I love the chess match. My old amateur boxing club, Repton, it was very much hitting and not being hit, coming up with game plans and strategies of how to win. And I try and transfer that into my commentary just naturally. I just don't really think about it. It just comes natural. And I just love it, mate. I love it. I'm well aware that I'm not the most articulate man in the world, but I like to think that my passion comes across when I'm commentating and when I'm talking about boxing. So, yeah, it's been a great start to this commentary media sort of world that I'm in.
Yeah, I'm sure. And kind of when you get started in the commentary, do you just get thrown in the deep end almost, being live on TV in a fight, or do you kind of do a bit of training beforehand?
Nah, straight in the deep end. But from the first time that I've ever done it, I always made sure that I was prepped and researched and covered all bases. I'll always watch fights before for both fighters and look at strengths and weaknesses for both and how I think a fight could play out. And I would like to say I'm always prepared before I go. Well, I am. I'm always prepared before I sit down at the desk, you know, about to commentate. I think it's so important because being a boxing fan myself, it's so important that I enhance someone's boxing experience. I don't want to make it a bad experience for them. I know how important it is that you can't please everyone. Not everyone's going to like your style of commentary, but I try my best to be impartial and read a fight and call a fight how I see it. It's a buzz, mate. I really, really thoroughly enjoy what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm sure. And do you do all the stats and kind of statistics and analytics at home, kind of as homework almost, to someone else, or does someone else do it for you?
We do have someone that helps us with it, but I don't pay a great deal of attention to that. I always have done my own prep. I can't sit there reading notes. I have to put things on paper. I'm quite old fashioned. I won't ever type anything. Like you see Chris Lloyd, he's on the computer and he's always typing. I have to handwrite things. It just resonates. It stays on the front of my mind. And something I always do. And I feel good about it. There's nothing worse than not being prepared for something, not just commentary, but anything in life. If you're not prepared, and I think that's all come from my years of boxing, going into a ring, not 100% is a scary thought. And I feel the same about anything else I do. If I'm not prepared, I'm worried, I'm frightened, and that takes away the enjoyment of things. So I always make sure that I'm diligent with my preparation.
Okay, I see then. And when I spoke to Steve Bunce, he was telling me that Mike Costello has his own stylist at Dazn, and obviously you work kind of with Mike Costello. Do you have your own, when you work with Dazn, do you get your own stylist then?
There's been someone that I've had to show my bit of clover to, and etc. She's lovely, a woman called Nina. She's really, really nice, and we have regular phone calls. But luckily, I like to think I scrub up okay. So I'm not one of her main priorities at the minute. I think Chris is.
So Nina never says Darren, that's rubbish. She defines something smarter. She never said anything like that then.
I've never had that, thankfully. Not yet, anyway.
It was the first time for everything then. As you mentioned there, you worked with Chris Lloyd before the bell. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter saying it's kind of the anti-decker boxing. Also like working with Chris. He's one of the best in the business.
He's brilliant, mate. He's so good. He's so articulate. For someone that's never properly boxed, he reads a fight so well. His knowledge of boxing, not just names and titles and promoters and that sort of thing. His technical brain is spot on. It is someone that has boxed before. He reads a fight very well. We read fights very similar, and I've been so impressed with that from Chris. So hard working, and he's a joy to work with. He's become one of my real close mates. We're really, really close now, and that I like to think that shines through when we're working. Just a top man, top man. Got good art, and like I say, I can't say it enough. It's just a joy to work with.
I always watch on Twitter, because you guys always put out, Chris puts out on his Instagram, when you guys do kind of the breakdowns of the fights where one of you, I think it's normally you holding the pads and Chris is punching, or you're holding the pads. I always watch the retakes, kind of the bloopers. How many times does it take you to do one shot in that?
Yeah, we just can't. We're always giggling. Me and him are always laughing. There's not a day, even if we're not with each other. Like even this morning, we're laughing at a joke together. It's very hard. It's very hard. And I can be like a big kid sometimes. I'm easily distracted. I'm always trying to wind people up. So I'm probably to blame for most of the bloopers that you see. But we have such a good laugh. But things do take a bit longer than they're supposed to with us too.
So the breakdowns are like 5 minutes, 5 to 8 minutes. How long does it take to film then?
We do breakdowns for say if it's 4 fights. So we're looking at say there's 4 contests. We're looking at pros and cons for both fighter. So usually we'll go to 12 Freeze gyms, my gym in Aldgate, and we're there for probably 4 or 5 hours. The time they set up and the time they do it and the time we start messing about. We're there for a few hours. Yeah, so that little clip that you see is being spread over the time of about 4 hours of recording time.
I'll say quite hard to film then. And have you ever thought, because Andy Clark and Matthew Macklin have their podcast, have you ever thought doing a podcast with Chris Lloyd, considering you get on so well, man?
Yeah, I just think we're too busy, mate. I think we're too busy. We've got all these bits and pieces already going on, and there's no real time to do much. I've got some other things going on, and it's very hard to sort of dedicate my time to it because I want to be good at everything I do. And I think if you have too many things cooking at the same time, it's hard to sort of excel in every department. Um, but yeah, I'm sure there'll be further projects that me and Chris do because we enjoy working with each other so much.
Yeah, I'm sure podcast will be good. I don't need too much time today, but I do want to get your thoughts on the, considering we've been talking about breakdowns so much, I want to get your thoughts on Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant this Saturday or Sunday morning for the UK. Is it going to start 4 a.m. or does it normally start 5 a.m.? You know?
I think we'll be closer to 4. To be honest, let's go straight in the middle. Let's say 4:30. I'm not 100% sure, but you know they do vary. It all depends how the undercard fares. But yeah, it will be somewhere between 4 and 5. You'll hear the first bell before 5.
And do you normally wake up or do you normally stay up the whole night then?
I used to stay up. Now I wake up. I can't deal with the sleep deprivation. It destroys me, especially with 4 kids. If I'm not sharp the next day, they'll run all over me. So yeah, I set my alarm now. It was really good actually. The Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. We was in Liverpool and we all got up and watched it in the hotel. It banged out. It was, there was all of us, Laura Woods, Wayne Rooney was actually in the room, Eddie Hearn, all the team, and that was great. So yeah, I set the alarm now and wake up.
Who bought the pay-per-view then? There's £25 out of all of you then.
Well, Eddie's got to. He's the boss, isn't he? He's got the most money.
Yeah, it's a very good point, actually. Yeah, so give me a breakdown, of course, and then Canelo Alvarez says Caleb Plant.
I think Caleb Plant's a very, very good fighter. Unbeaten, and he's slick. He's got quick hands. He can punch. He can move. He's good on the front foot. He's got a bit of everything, and that's what you need to be a world champion, obviously. But you've got to remember he's in there with one of the greatest ever. I rate Canelo so highly. I think he's almost mastered boxing. The ability to hit and not be hit. He can move. He does everything at an elite level. So that's the difference there. Caleb Plant does everything well. Canelo does everything just leagues above the rest. Him, Usyk, arguably number 1 and 1 or 2 pound for pound in the world. So I think Caleb Plant will move well. He'll try and keep the distance. I mean, distance control is so important for Caleb Plant, not getting backed into the corner of the ropes, sort of maintaining space behind him at all times. So if he does get pushed back, he can move and then navigate back to the center of the ring. But as the rounds go on, I feel Canelo will grab the fight by the horns and really knuckle down and start to make Caleb Plant pay. I think with the right hand over the top of the jab, the left to the body, the uppercut as Caleb Plant falls in, he'll just bust him up and expect, a late stoppage. Best case for Caleb Plant is that he could hear the final bell, but it will be a struggle against Canelo.
Do you see kind of similarities between Billy Joe Saunders and Caleb Plant, considering they're kind of both pure boxers in a way then?
Slightly. I mean, I know where you're coming from with that. Both slick, sharp shooters that can put their hands together. But yeah, I think probably Caleb Plant, the naturally bigger, where Billy Joe did come up through the weights. I think Caleb Plant probably naturally more bigger. But yeah, I understand where you're coming from with the comparisons there. I just feel to beat Canelo, you need a bit more.
You do kind of like Golovkin when you stand toe to toe with him.
You kind of need a real slick fighter, a typical American kind of fighter, with the power of Golovkin. I think you need everything to be able to beat Canelo, who's just improving all the time.
Does anyone have that right now than boxing? A slick boxer with the power.
Beat Canelo. Not to beat Canelo. I think he's as complete as they come. Just so is balance. It all starts from there. It all starts from the feet up, the way he lays the foundations, and that is how he generates so much power, mate.
So you think Canelo by stoppage then, basically?
Late stoppage.
Okay. Yeah, I see a lot of people saying that, a lot of Americans saying Caleb can outbox him, but then if you just look at the resumes, I think kind of Saunders might have had this problem as well. If you look at Canelo's last fights, look at Caleb's last fight, Canelo's all kind of elite. world level type of guys, and Caleb was up
Yeah.
there, and Caleb's might not be. Do you kind of see that as well, the resume difference?
Yeah, and he just takes so much confidence into the ring because of that. You know, he's been in there with the best, beaten the best. Caleb Plant hasn't. He's got decent record, but not at the caliber of opponent, like you say, of Canelo, who, you know, again, I will say what I just said. You know, he takes so much confidence from the fact that he's beaten very good fighters, and it's just another fight for Canelo, another fight that he truly believes he's going to win.
Yeah, no, that's also good. It'll be undisputed 160 as well, which is always good for boxing. But right, Darren, thanks so much for your time today, and thank you for giving me your email as well on Saturday. I do appreciate it. So where can people find you on social media, Twitter? Have you got anything else coming up you want to talk about? Shout out.
No, not particularly. Just got a busy schedule. I hope everyone enjoys the commentary. I try not to let any of you down. I try and, you know, do as best as I can to enhance your boxing experience. I'll say it again. I love what you're doing. I love that you're getting out there and making something, because as you grow up as a kid and you turn into a young man, you soon find out that no one gives you nothing in life. You've got to go out there and earn it. You've got to go out there and get it yourself. And I think it's great what you're doing, mate. So you should be proud of yourself.
Yeah, I'll be working with you one day then, Darren. Us on Dazn.
Yeah, all right. That's the deal.
All right. Thanks so much for your time then, Darren. We'll catch up soon then, mate. Thank you.
All the best, mate. Take care.